Okay, so in this video, I asked about the BLACKPINK tour, how it's gonna go, and how are the girlies feeling about it. I pulled cards for each girl individually. I feel like there may be some issues with the tour. I also feel like the future of BLACKPINK is a little bit precarious. With that being said, everything I say is all alleged and for entertainment purposes only, and with peace and love, and let's go! Okay. This is like... Immediately I heard like, I don't want to do this. Not good, not good. Okay, so well, the first card we pulled was the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is a card of like nightmares. It can be about stress, it can be about anxiety, it can be about depression. I mean, like the imagery on the card is very like, it's heavy. The Hanged Man upright can mean like wanting to do something else, wanting to go in a different direction. Because the background of the card is gray, it's sort of like it can go one way or the other. Sometimes it's like inspiration, I want to try something new. Sometimes it's almost like I want to try something new because what I'm doing, I don't want to be doing. The Four of Swords upright is like contemplation. Sometimes it's also like because this is like a coffin, so it can be almost kind of like this is my final resting place. Why am I being so negative? Eight of Pentacles, working at something. They are working on the tour for sure. Currently, probably. The Devil, it's coming up, right? The tour starts in July, I think. The Devil in the reverse position, that's the releasing of something toxic. That's pretty good. And the Six of Cups in the reverse position. That's like, not giving and receiving. Oh, I'll need to pull more cards before I'm sure about what that means. Okay, I'll need to pull more cards, but like immediately I thought of like someone is getting more than I am. I don't know what that means, but that might not be the case. I don't know. Overall, the vibes are not giving that they necessarily want to do this, or at least not all of them. I want to pull individually on each member because sometimes members can be all over the place. For them specifically, overall, especially with that first card, it's giving kind of like, I don't want to do this, but I'm obligated to do this. I'm going to try to make the best of it. Especially because we got the Devil in the reverse position, which is good news because it's sort of like I'm releasing like any sort of burdens, like whatever. We have to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make the best of it. It doesn't, the energy is not like I'm excited to go on tour. I'm excited to see fans. I'm excited to sing the songs. Like it's none of that. It's like this is an obligation for me. I have to contractually fill out this obligation. The Fool, embarking on a new journey. The Six of Wands, and the Eight of Cups. That's, this is all moving too. All of these are going in this direction, which it's like almost we're moving backwards because the Fool is like embarking on a new journey. That's usually like a more inspiring card of like being new at something, but like, oh, like I don't know where we're going. It can also be like wanting to do something else that's like you're new at. They've been on tour, right? Like this is their third or fourth tour, I'm not sure. Anyway, they've been on tour before, and so they're sort of like kind of over it. I think touring as BLACKPINK, I should say, because they don't have a lot of songs in their discography still, and they've been a group for like 10 years or something like that. And so I think they're just kind of bored of singing like da-da-da-da-do all the time and like the same song and dance. I don't think YG is necessarily particularly innovative when it comes to touring, so it's not like they're doing, you know, like crazy set designs and changes and like things like that. It's very much like they do like background dancers, and I've never been to a show. I'm sure it's really fun, but it's not like there is a lot of like you know, in the same way like Taylor Swift or Beyonce, where there's a lot happening and there's a lot of quick changes and things are, you know, they very much like have like a formula that they do. I think the members are a little bit bored of that, to be honest. I also think all of them are really antsy to focus on their own solo work, more so than, because I mean, if you're in BLACKPINK doing BLACKPINK things in BLACKPINK world, you can't necessarily focus on yourself or your own projects. You have to, you know, be committed to the group. It's tough though, because it's not like that. I think at least there's a concentrated energy, which might be one member, but it might be other members who was like absolutely like this is sucking the life out of me. And I think some members are just sort of like, okay, like vibe, like this is my job, like okay, sort of like, you know, any job you have, or like going to school and you're like, this is what I do. One member though, I feel it's one member is like, I hate this and I'm mad. The other members are like, well, I don't think any of them are really like in love with the idea of going on tour. It's like an obligation. This is like a lack of valor though, which is really interesting. And this is like wanting to like move on but being stuck somewhere. That's labor and burden and work. It feels like a slog. That's what I feel. It feels like when you have to, like if you don't like cleaning your house, for example, and it's like my house is super messy, like I have to clean it today, or any sort of task that you don't want to do but have to do. That's exactly what the energy feels like. The Three of Wands, it's like they're, I really want to pull, because I know it's not all of the members that feel this way, but this energy is incredibly strong, where it's like you're caught between two worlds, or it's like I want to focus on what I was doing like with my solo projects, like you know, acting or singing or modeling or whatever it is they're doing. It's like I want to focus on that, and I still have my mind in that part of my life, but I'm stuck in BLACKPINK world, so I have to like be like committed. This is good news because this can be like friendship and camaraderie, like we're working together, and this is like seeing a vision, trying to plan, trying to think like, okay, like what are we gonna do They are, I don't even think all of their songs are done for their album. I feel like they've recorded a lot, but I don't feel like they finalized the songs. I don't know. Aren't like albums like the physical like copy or whatever, like the vinyl, aren't those like cut like soon? And the album's coming out in June, right? But it's like a month from now. I don't know. To me, there's something about the album not being complete. Like it could be complete and ready, and like something's gonna be changed at the last minute, or like they still haven't really finalized like the aesthetics. I'm not sure, but there's something unfinished, which is interesting considering like, you know, everything's coming up so close. But I think that's very YG, at least for Blackpink, to do things very last minute. The Hierophant in the reverse position, oh, it might be a music video as well. The Hierophant in the reverse position is doing things differently. They're gonna try. I don't think it's gonna land, because this is like doing things unorthodox, outside of like the norm, and it's like it feels like they're gonna try, and you're gonna see the effort of like, oh, they tried to go outside of the box, they tried something new, but it's gonna be like the same old at the same time. It's sort of like, oh, like she's so quirky, but it's like, girl, what are you doing? That's I don't know how to explain this. I could see them trying to branch out and do different things on this album. I still kind of see it being like very just classically Blackpink. Okay, I'm gonna ask, is the tour gonna be successful? Because we're mostly just getting... Oh! Girl, why'd we get the tower? The tower is like a shakeup. It can the tower is kind of seen as a no card when you ask a yes or no question. I really love asking yes or no questions because, you know, nuances everywhere. The tower is like a big shakeup, like a dramatic shakeup of some sort. The imagery on the card is not necessarily the most positive. I asked if the tour was going to be successful. The Tower is a really strong card, just generally. It's a major arcana. This is, oh, someone's going to get attacked. And this makes me, the King of Wands makes me think it's for the company more than it's the girls. It could be a powerful man at that. So it could be a powerful man in any one of their orbits, like the Arnal family. It doesn't seem like it though. It seems like it's very closely connected to Blackpink. So that could be YG, like someone coming for YG and it affects the girls or something like that. But there's going to be like something major that happens on this tour that is going to change, I guess, Blackpink. I don't know if it's going to be like Blackpink's fault or Blackpink did it, but something around them or with them or within them is going to change really dramatically. And this card can talk about like the internet or like publicity. It can also talk about the speed and pace of something. It seems like whatever this is, it'll be kind of like sudden, and also it'll be public. So we'll know about it. Not the Sun card. I'm getting chills on my body. I'm very nervous for this tour. The Sun literally is like unhappiness. It can be something happening in the darkness. It's also a no card. The King of Pentacles, that's a very classic YG card for me. And then this seems like something having to do with YG more than the girls. It could be both. I mean, because, you know, Blackpink is under YG. The Four of Cups in the reverse position is, like, that's not getting what you wanted. Can I have more detail? I want more detail, please. What specifically might go wrong on the Blackpink tour? Cups. That could be like people being displeased. To me, it felt like fans. Fans are displeased. Wheel of Fortune. Fortune not going in your favor. Time slowing down. The Page of Pentacles. Something to do with money as well. Youth. Oh, maybe people not showing up in droves to the concert, or like there's like I don't think this is it, but I could see like in my mind's eye I just picture like empty stadiums. Not like completely empty, but you know, like sometimes like people will point out like, oh, look at all those empty seats over there, and like there are people at the concert, but there's also a lot of empty seats. I could see that, but that's just like people kind of being haters. Low-key. I couldn't even sell out like a 12-person theater, don't be for real. The Lovers, that's two things coming together. The Ace of Wands in the reverse position, that can be like a lack of attraction, that can be a lack of like starting something new, a lack of manifestation. The Seven, right? Yeah. Seven of Wands is, they're gonna get into a scandal, the girls are. One of them, but it might be all of them. It might be one of them and then all of them get dragged into it. But like there's something coming for them. I feel like this is like a multiple thing happening. I think something's going to happen at YG, and I think something's going to happen with the girls. I think it's going to be public. It seems like it's going to happen earlier. I think it'll at least happen in 2025 because the tour goes into 2026, right? But there's something... I feel like there also just might be a lot of like little things. It seems like there's going to be a major event, I'll be honest, but I also see a lot of like little things going on. Like maybe they don't sell out, you know, like a stadium or something, and then everyone is like, oh wow, like they fell off or whatever, and that's like a headline, and people run with that headline because they like to make fun of women in media. I could see that being the case. I could also see like more drama coming up. I could also see more leaks happening, and like because they're actively like out there and promoting, people pay like stronger attention to those leaks, and it's like, oh wow, they really said that in a video when they were like 15 or something like that. Because this is like poking at somebody, and I see there's somebody that is like really like does not like the girls, and it seems like a powerful person outside of whatever, and it's sort of like Also, I think might be like a distraction, almost like using Blackpink as a distraction away from something else political. You know what I mean? It feels very like they're used as a pawn. Queen of Wands, I think that's one of the members, might be Rosé. Doesn't have to be though. For just because she's blonde. This is her card though. They like share cards is the problem. They're not, because there's 4 queens in this whole deck, but like they're not all individually like one queen. So like and it also depends on their energy and how much like they're feeling themselves, because the Queen of Wands is like a classic pop star card. Anyway, 5 of Pentacles in the reverse position and the Page of Wands. Oh, someone's going to come out on top of the store. It does kind of seem like it's going to be Rosé for some reason. Like people will like her the most. There is going to be one member. It doesn't have to be Rosé. I keep fixating on her right now though. But there's going to be one member that is really liked publicly and by the fans in the store, and the others are not. And I think it has to do with work ethic specifically, kind of talent too, but not really. It's almost like, oh wow, like, you know, they give effort on stage, you can see the energy, you can see them actively engaging with fans, they don't seem bored, they don't seem bratty, they don't seem whatever, even if it's like, and like they're good enough at like what they're doing, like they hit the notes, you know, like it sounds fine when they sing, like they look like they're enjoying the stage. And it seems like the other members are going to, it's almost like this member is not even like doing an exceptional job, it's almost like the other members are falling or faltering, and so people are going to promote this member. It seems organic almost, like fans are going to be like, wow, like look how much this member worked compared to the others. I do see, and I think the girls going solo has really amped up the solo fandom thing that's going on in Blackpink. So I could see as the girls' fandoms diverge from, oh, we're Blinks to like, oh, I really love Rosé, I really love Jennie, I really love Lisa, I really love Jisoo. You're going to start to see different people who I guess used to be unanimously like one Blink tearing down one member to promote their favorite. And that's going to happen a lot more on this tour, so you might see more hate campaigns towards one member. That's going to be from, like, fandoms. That sounds really horrible. I'm kind of scared. Like, they're going to, like, you know, clip, like, a video of, like, Jennie and be like, oh, like, she sucks or whatever because they're, like, a really big fan of Lisa, for example. I could see that starting to become, that has existed, but it's going to become a lot more severe as, I also feel like the girls on stage, I think, are going to seem really friendly. I could maybe see there being some, I think there, but the thing is, I keep interrupting myself, I'm sorry. I could see the girls being really friendly on stage, but I could also see there being like a, you know, like last tour and there was like a somewhat cold war between Lisa and Rosé, and people were like, oh, like they're fighting, and there wasn't really any obvious proof other than they weren't as like warm and friendly with each other. I could see something like that happening. However, I feel like the girls are hyper aware that people think that, like, you know, Jennie and Lisa don't like each other, for example. So they're going to try to seem very friendly with one another. But I also really kind of see them being a bit checked out on this tour. Like I could see people really criticizing how they dance, and I could see them criticizing the amount of effort, and they look like, oh, like this member looks really bored, or like, why did I pay all this money? That happened last tour. This might amp up more. Especially as things become a lot more expensive. People are going to be like, I paid for a good show, and you gave me what? Oh boy. Anyway, 8 of Swords in the reverse position. That's like saying what I want to say. Tight control. King of Cups. What's that mean? I immediately heard we're breaking free from High School Musical. We're breaking free. But someone doesn't want them to. Queen of Pentacles. Oh, we're getting all the girl cards now. Queen of Pentacles in the reverse position. The Page of Swords. This I heard what we've lost. Page of Swords. I honestly, like, I see the tour, I see it completing. I don't know why I said that though, maybe it's not going to complete. I see the tour being very similar to last tour, where I think if you go to the tour and you're at the show, you're like, yeah, it was a good show. Could have been better, could have been worse, it was a good show. People online are going to see the clips that people who went to the show took, and they're going to be like, wow, this sucks, horrible tour, like the girls don't sing, they don't seem like they're excited. That's going to amp up a lot more, especially as more people are maybe less enamored by Blackpink and are more excited about their downfall. I think this is going to be a very messy tour. I really can't get information on what the major thing that might happen during this tour is at all. I really want to know. I'm nosy as hell. Sometimes I like kind of think that like it's written into like the universal contract that something is supposed to happen, but their energies will shift what that thing is, which is why I can't pick up on it. Very woo-woo, spiritual girly. Okay, what is the major thing that is going to happen on this tour? Is there going to be a major thing that happens on this tour? It has to do with money. It really does. Because we've gotten Pentacle cards every time I've tried to ask about this. It has to do with money. And maybe a contract as well. Oh, that'd be weird. They might low-key announce their disbandment in the middle of the tour. Or the information might leak. I'm not sure. That might be it. I really want to ask later on if they're going to disband. The Queen of Swords in the reverse position. Not saying what you want to say in the Queen of Cups. These don't feel like the girls. Knight of Cups, emotion, Ace of Wands, money again, heartbreak. They might not make as much money during this tour as well. They might lose money during this tour. That would be a major calamity, but not necessarily drama. But that's still a big deal if you're a business. I think that might be it too. Like YG might lose money on the tour or not make as much by a lot than they expected. Like the projected numbers for the tour and what they're gonna get are different. I could also see there being issues with selling out. Okay, let's ask about how the girlies feel about going on tour. This is gonna be Jennie. This is gonna be Lisa. This is gonna be Rose. Me forgetting. And this is Jisoo. Okay, so Jennie got the King of Wands in the reverse position. Someone's mad at her. I've been seeing this for a while. Someone is mad at Jennie. Like, I've been saying for a while, someone is mad that Jennie is shining. Or is like probably the most prominent member currently, or maybe even the most successful member in terms of her solo. Someone's mad. I think someone is trying to take her down or sabotage her, but it's very like chess. So they're not making big swipes or big swings at her. Okay, never mind. I want more information, Loki. Hierophant, follow the rules. Heartbreak. Ooh! I feel like Jennie, and this is like per the cards, is like kind of defiant. But it's like, what is it called? When you comply, but like, how do I explain this? Kind of like weaponized incompetence. Like Jennie she'll be like, well, I showed up, like you told me to show up, I'm showing up. But like she like is very like how do I say this politely? She's kind of like half-assed. Like she'll do, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. People are gonna get so mad at me. But like I do think when Jennie wants to do something, she works very hard, and we see this. If you're a fan of Jennie, you'll know when she is on it, she's on it. She's amazing to watch. She's so like fierce and just like exciting. When Jennie is not feeling it, it just kind of shows up 50%. And that's kind of like, I don't know if Jennie always has control over her amount, like the amount of energy she can exert, but it's almost like somebody is mad at her. This seems like somebody that she used to work with or maybe still works with currently. This seems like somebody that is like above YG's pay grade. I don't know. It seems to be not related to YG in some way. I don't think she currently works with them, but maybe. At any rate, this does seem like masculine energy, this does seem like powerful energy, and this does seem like it has something to do with her being an artist specifically. But she might have like made them upset in like a private setting. Whatever, not important. At any rate, it's almost like she is obligated to do something. This might be the tour, it might have to do with BLACKPINK, but it might be something privately. Like she works for Chanel, right? Could be something to do with that. At any rate, Jennie shows up when she is obligated to do something and she doesn't want to do it. She like will just like half-ass it. Like someone's mad at her though, and like she's weaponizing incompetence essentially, and it's very like a cold war. I think she's somewhat aware of it. I don't know, it's really funny though. It might have to do with YG. At any rate, it's like heartbreak though, which is concerning because this is like heartbreak. It's like disappointment, contemplation, stopping and resting, not being able to move forward. Oh, someone's really, I keep seeing like somebody like taking like, this is kind of like graphic, but I keep seeing someone taking an axe and like swiping her knees, almost like fall, but like in a really violent way. Someone, and I really believe this in my heart of hearts, I feel like someone is trying to knock Jennie down. And I think it's kind of personal. I think I mean, it feels personal, but it also feels like, I don't want you, let's say like there's another pop artist out there and like Jennie's like vying for that girl's spot, or like that girl is threatened by Jennie or whatever, or that girl's like teachers. That girl, what am I trying to say? And like some company is like threatened by Jennie, like, oh, they're gonna take like our pop girl spot or whatever. It's like business and it's also personal. Like this person does not like Jennie, but it's also like, you can't take away from what we're doing over here. At any rate, someone is trying to, because this is like slowing down, this is like heartbreak, this is like follow the rules, like be in line. And Jennie, I don't even think that Jennie, I think just sometimes has a hard time like following the rules because she's just a very independent person, like fundamentally. I think, I don't feel like the idol system was like the best for her because she just really wants to do what she wants to do. She tries. That's so funny. All right. Well, you know, work, Jennie. This was Lisa, right? Okay, so Lisa, I hate when it gets messy like that. That drives me nuts. Lisa got the 7 of Wands. Didn't she get this in a different reading I did where I asked about all 4? At any rate, Lisa feels backed into a corner. She feels like everybody hates her. This is very like internet energy. Wands tends to be the internet because it's like over, you know, long distances. She sees a lot of the negative comments and a lot of negative press. She got a lot of negative press recently at the Met Gala. She sees all of that. She feels like people hate her. She feels like, and I think she went from a lot of people really liking her, especially because, you know, you have the full force of the BLACKPINK's fandom. She really feels that. Well, I don't know. She feels numb, to be honest. Like, there's not a lot of, like, heavy emotion that's, like, tangible. 5 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles in the reverse position. That's, like, either not getting help or not wanting to ask for help anymore. Oh, and this is like illusion, disillusion. The Hanged Man, stuck. Not being able to move forward. She's not getting help, which is kind of interesting, because I think a lot of discourse that's been happening online is she gets a lot of help from the Arnold family and her boyfriend, Frederic. There's something about, because this card usually means like help, receiving a help, and it's almost like either that help is not helpful or it's been like withdrawn in some way. Not entirely, because I don't see it's like if because we don't know, she got backing from the Arnold family, like financial backing or connections. I mean, like, you could probably infer. At any rate, it's almost like that's not necessarily been taken away, but it's almost like this isn't working, this isn't helping. And also it's later like we have to go back to the drawing board and you have to figure it out yourself, because this is like opportunity and trying to figure out like what's the best opportunity to go in. I feel like for Lisa, she feels like anything that she does isn't working, isn't sticking to the wall, isn't hitting. So she's done a lot of collaborations and those haven't really taken off to be like super massive hits that everybody's listening to. She was in the White Lotus and I think people liked her in that series. I think she's trying to act more. But really, to be honest, it seems almost like Lisa, for her solo career, none of this is about the tour. For Lisa, Lisa is very much not like checked into the tour, I'll say. I think because like I would say Lisa is probably one of the stronger performers in BLACKPINK. Whether you like her music or not, she's a good performer. Like her face is on, like she has the energy, she has the stamina. She's a good dancer. And so for Lisa, she's not really worried. She's like, I know how to perform, like for sure. And also she's like, I've done this like a million times. At any rate, it's almost like, again, this is like stall and delay. This is stall and delay. There's something that's going to happen to all the girls. I feel that. I bet that's going to come up in these two readings as well. But there's a stall and a delay that's going to happen related to them. Oh, that might be the girls in general and like BLACKPINK disbanding. I don't know. Or something stopping with BLACKPINK. I don't think they'd announce it in a really on-the-nose way. Whatever, unimportant. At any rate, Lisa feels like nothing she does is working out and she's frustrated and like she feels like everybody hates her. I kind of want to know if that's even like a smear campaign as well. Anyway, I said this was Rose, right? She got the strength in the reverse position. Not the best card. It's feeling disempowered, a lack of empowerment. It's also vulnerability in some way. The Justice, that's not good. In the reverse position, it's a lack of justice, like something unfair happening to you, or sometimes it's you being unfair to someone else. The 10 of Pentacles in the reverse position is looking back dissatisfied, something having to do with money as well, like you're not getting what you're owed. The 10 of is releasing of burdens. But sometimes I read this though as if it were a burden. It's sort of like this is a burden. Rose does not want to go on tour. She feels like it's unfair. I mean, not necessarily in an actual way, in the terms of like you signed a contract that you have to go. It's not necessarily like unfair in that way. It's more just like I want to. It's sort of like you kind of like your spirit wants to do something else, but you're obligated to. It's like showing up for work every day and you're like, I want to go to work, like, but it's like I have to eat. That's kind of the vibe it's giving. For Rose though, it's like she does not want to go on this tour strongly. I think Rose is very good at being a team player. So like I don't think she would know that Rose doesn't want to go on tour. She'll show up to the things, like she'll smile, she'll sing, she'll dance. She really doesn't want to. It's not even necessarily like she has a lot lined up that she would be doing otherwise. I think Rose has a good work-life balance. I think she likes to party. I think she has friends all over the world. So like for her, she just kind of wants to enjoy her life. And I feel like she doesn't 100% enjoy touring or being but that's not even true. I think she would enjoy touring if it was her own thing. But I don't think she likes touring with BLACKPINK. I think she's kind of and I say this like in a nice way, it doesn't seem mean at all, but she's kind of tired of BLACKPINK just because they've had the same aesthetic for like 10 years. I feel like it's not necessarily dated, although that was the word I heard, but it's sort of like I'm over this, been there, done that. BLACKPINK, like do, like how you like that for sure. Like she wants innovation, she wants new, she wants fresh, and YG is not the best at doing that with BLACKPINK. She just is very like, ugh, that's like her vibe. She's like, I'll do it because I have to, but I don't want to. She's not happy. I said this was Jisoo. This is being like trapped in luxury or like a lot of opportunities, or almost like I read this as like the caged bird, like a gilded cage though. She's like, I'm in a good position. I think Jisoo has an awareness of like, I'm in a really good position in my life. Like, you know, I think they make a lot of money touring, right? The girls specifically. I know touring makes a lot of money, but they get a lot of money from touring. And she's sort of like, you know, in comparison to the rest of the world, like I'm doing really well. Like I'm not in like a war zone currently. I'm not in poverty currently. Like everything's going well in my life. But she's also like, I really don't want to do this. I think touring is also very stressful on your body, like flying to a different location every day, having to dance for 3 hours straight. Like it's a lot, very taxing, I would imagine. Let's do this. Oh, so that is Jisoo. Jisoo is the Queen of Cups in the reverse position. Oh, she doesn't. Oh, this is actually kind of sad. She feels like she is not the most valuable member, or like the most interesting member, or like the most unique member. Because you see the Queen has this cup, and it's the only cup in the deck that looks like that. It's very unique. she feels like she flopped the hardest out of the girls almost, or it's not even necessarily like as clear as that, but she compares herself to the other members, and she's like, they got invited to the Met Gala and they're at Coachella and they're all over the world, and like Rosé got like a massive hit with Bruno Mars, and Jisoo's just kind of there, and I think she feels that. She's sort of like, oh, no one's talking about me, I'm not very interesting. Jisoo I think is on good terms with all the members. Jisoo's very hands-off. I think people always like, because she doesn't really like, you don't see Jisoo usually going off to see the other members. She's usually in Korea just vibing. Jisoo always makes me laugh. Her energy is so funny, because she's just very like, she's just like, well, whatever, like kind of unbothered. I see her like in my mind's eye, I see her with like a yarn, and she's like trying to like untangle the yarn, which to me is sort of like, I have to be like Mother Goose. I have to make sure that, you know, get along and like we seem like proper, whatever. She, I think, feels the burden. BLACKPINK doesn't have an official leader, but I feel like Jisoo sometimes takes on leadership roles, and she's sort of like, I have to be the one that's like getting everybody like together and gathered. Not even logistically, but like almost emotionally or energetically. Like Jisoo's like, this is just another like thing to do. I don't think she is excited to go on tour. I don't think she hates the idea either. I think she's a little bit like tired. I think they're all very tired, I'll be honest. They've been at this for a while. Even though they take a lot of hiatuses, it's just being attached to something like BLACKPINK of all things, I think is a bit, because other K-pop groups are very in their IP, you know, whether they enjoy it or not. It's like they're having comebacks constantly, and like a lot of groups also change up what they're doing a lot. BLACKPINK doesn't, BLACKPINK hasn't, YG is a little bit inconsistent, and I think that sort of like you don't really know where you are is a bit tiring as well. And also, you see them all trying to make moves in like different directions. Jisoo feels like she has to create order out of chaos. And she also feels like she is the most underappreciated member. Like she feels a little bit forgotten. But it's not even like heavy like that. It's just a very like, I don't know, I think Jisoo is really mature. So she's upset, but she's also like, well, fair game. Like that is how it happened. Lisa, not at all focused on the tour. Rosé doesn't really want to go on tour. Jisoo's kind of tired, but she'll do it. And Jennie, Jennie's cards were not necessarily about her. It was almost like someone was trying to take, I think for Jennie's cards, you will see a ramping up of a hate campaign for her again. For sure. And I feel like this is somebody, I literally, don't shoot the messenger. I just got like a ding in my head. I don't know how to explain it. I feel like, I'll say this very carefully. You guys get so mad when I like start saying something and then stop. I feel like these two, Jennie and Lisa, are having kind of a back and forth in the media, and it seems almost like I'm really scared. I feel like for a while somebody may or may not be a part of Jennie's camp has been maybe sending stories into the media to make Lisa look bad. IDK, I don't know. We don't even know if Jennie knows about it. I feel like Lisa might start to do that with Jennie, especially on tour, where we're going to see a ramping up of negative articles about Jennie. But I don't feel like this is entirely either of their doing. I think they add fuel to the fire of this. And I know that's a really outlandish claim and also a very wild claim, but I literally saw like them both flipping through magazines and like exchanging magazines, which I'm like, does it mean you're like selling stories about one another? Like, what's the tea? I don't know. But anyway, I could see hate has been going on for Lisa for a while. I could see hate increasing for Jennie. That's a very big claim. I understand. I know. They're not. It's hard too because it's not like they're ops entirely. It's more like you're my competition. Business is business. It's less petty than you would think, but it's very business is business. It's very, if you're paying attention to like the Taylor Swift Blake Lively thing, where it's like they're like talking about each other through media. So it's like Taylor Swift goes to People magazine to mention something, and like Blake Lively will leak something from her lawyer, and it's like they're talking to each other through those mediums. That's kind of them. Whatever, girl. I'm gonna end this meeting. Okay, peace and love.